Hey everyone, Melanie Minshinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Today I'm going to share a new project for you with my newest set from Gina K Designs, Stately Flowers 13. And I shared this on our design team Instagram hop from last week, so I really wanted to show how easy it was through a demonstration in a video. Going to be doing some embossing of these peach blossom branches and leaves, and then I'm going to be just coloring it in with some simple watercoloring and sponging a little bit of a sky in the back. This is perfect for a sunrise or a sunset, and this Barely There cardstock from Gina K is just the perfect pale pink for this card. Just needs a little bit of other supplies. We're going to be using the Gina K Designs watermarking pad for our embossing. I've got some of the peach blossom ink peach Bellini for that background. And then I'm going to be using the Gina K Designs Chocolate Truffle Amalgam ink for that greeting. I thought it would be pretty to do brown instead of black, just to kind of echo those branches. Then, of course, the Stately Flowers 13 stamp set. I've got the MISTI and an acrylic block. Actually, I think I'm going to use this 3x4 block for that longer branch. Then I've got one of the life-changing blending brushes and a heat gun. I'm using the Arteza set of 36 half pan watercolors. So you can just pull these colors right off, blend them on the tray, and it comes with the water brush. You could also do this watercoloring with some ink pads and a water pen or a brush and some water if you like. And then I've just got a piece of scratch paper here below to catch that embossing powder and then to protect my work surface when I do my sponging. So let's begin. So I've got a piece of cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. We're going to score this at 5 1/2 inches. So I already did one score, but I'm just going to go over that one more time. And then you fold it away from the score to get a nice edge without any cracking in the cardstock. And so what we're going to do first I'm going to do, I think, my stamping and embossing, and then I'm going to do my sponging over it, and then I can decide really where I want those lighter areas and darker areas to be, and that'll allow me to figure out where I want to put my greeting and so on. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp that branch. So taking this peach blossom branch right here. I don't think I'm going to put as many branches on this one just for the sake of time, but also just to show you how you can build out a different scene with this. So these can go facing up, facing down, and then you can put the leaves, which was drawn to go with this Cherokee rose, but they add some nice greenery and architecture to that branch if you're building a scene. So I'm going to ink this up in the watermarking ink. Make sure that you have the stamp nice and clean. I'm just using a moistened Gina K Tidy Towel for this. I just want to make sure I am not, even though it's got some staining, I don't want to transfer any ink from my previous project onto this clear watermarking pad. So I'm just going to press that down on there a couple times. And I think I'm going to do it just one right up about here. Okay, and so it's going to be hard for you to see that, especially on this light cardstock, but it's there. And you could also emboss this in gold. Let me see if I've got like some gold, maybe the rose gold handy. That would be really pretty. I think I'm going to do rose gold on this one just for something different than the clear I did on the card. So this is the rose gold paper. She's got champagne though, all different kinds of colors. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use these leaves and make sure this is clean as well. It has some staining on it. For some reason, my black ink stains red on my stamps. I don't know why. So I'm going to take just the edge there where it looks like it was just snipped off with some clippers and just put that right onto the branch. So I kind of have to lift that up to see where it is. So I'm just going to press it. You can put it just right up to the edge of the flower or up to the branch as if it's coming out from behind. Okay, and then I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do my greeting later. So I'm just going to do just that one branch here, and then maybe one, I want it to look like just one little blossom is falling down, like the card that I did my previous video, that ombre embossed resist. So I'm going to have just one falling down here like this. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle on my embossing powder. That's so delicate. This is going to be, I'm so glad I reached for this. This is going to be so pretty on this paper. Okay. And I apologize if you hear that little chime sounding. My husband is working from home now, so he's got his work computer over there, and I don't know how to make it stop. I turned down the sound. I tried to call him because he's out at a meeting right now. Can't make it stop. So anyway, it's probably bothering me more than it's bothering you, I hope. Okay, so if you have any little stray flecks on there, you go ahead and brush those away. Close this up so that I don't knock it over or blow the dust everywhere. So we're going to turn this on. And I'm just going to keep it a few inches away from the cardstock. And I want to keep it moving. And you're just going to see all that powder go from a matte color, like a powder or a dust, and it's just going to melt and turn shiny. Okay. And then if you have some warping of your cardstock, you can just turn it over and heat it up from the other side. Okay, that'll flatten out. So I'm going to give that just a second. It's still hot. Give it just a second before I touch it anywhere because I don't want to mash my fingers into it. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, I'm going to do my sponging now. So I'm going to take this Peach Bellini ink. I'm going to put this paper under it again just so that I don't get it on my self-healing mat. Okay, so I'm just going to just swirl this on here, and we'll start off of here just to make sure that I'm not getting big mark. And so I'm just going around real softly, and I'm trying to make this look like a cloudy background. So I want to have some darker areas where kind of that sunset, that orange sky is peeping through, but then also some light areas for clouds. And you can build this out as much as you want. If you want to kind of layer on some different pinks or even a lavender, that would be really, really pretty. But this is just to show you what you can do with one pad in just a little bit of time. Okay, so there is my background there. Now this is going to pop more once I have added, and I think I might have used Dusty Rose before actually. So let me grab that pad, and this will I'll just show you kind of the dimension that this is going to add to the card, putting on just a little more, some pink. Yeah. And so it might be hard to see from where you're sitting, but this is just adding just a really nice rosy tone. Okay. All right. So your choice, one or two, but yeah, so that's going to make it just add a little bit more red there. Very nice. Okay, so now let's go in and we're going to do our watercoloring, and then I'm going to put my greeting right here. So open this up, and this shows you all colors, but they're very true to the color that you see, that dried watercolor. All right, so I've already got water in here, and make sure that my brush is clean. All right, so I'm going to start with just the center of these flowers, and I'm just going to add some of this magenta in here to the middle. Now I'm not using a watercolor cardstock, so it's going to be a little bit different than if you're using something like Artist's Choice. So I'm just dabbing the darkest part into the center, and I'm going to pull it out. And so it's not going to blend quite as much as it would if you were using Artist's Choice, but I just love this pale pink cardstock to start with as a base. And then we've got like a little bud here. And so the base of that is going to be green. And then I'm going to put this down underneath. Underneath where that flower petal is. And then I'm going to go back in with some red, and this doesn't have to look exactly like the peach blossom wood. I went over and I grabbed some of that amaranth, is what it's called. And I'm just adding just some little touches of it and just kind of letting that fill in. Put a little bit more there. Put some on the underside here. And then you can go in and you can just dot into those little anthers. With that amaranth. And a little bit more of this under here. Put some of the red down here at the bottom. All right, now what I want to do is I'm going to do some of the green. And so I'm going to go over to the spring green right here. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm just going to dab this into each of the leaves. Oh, it's so bright. That's beautiful. Okay. So start at the darkest part and then pull out to the lightest part. And then we're going to go back and we're going to add just a little bit more of that, the darker green. And so I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use, let's see, the cobalt. So I'm just going to add some of that cobalt green in there. And down here. That leaves casting a shadow. Could use a little bit of the olive. It's done whenever you think it's done. Okay. And then I'm going to do a little bit of brown here. So I'm going to take, I think, this burnt umber here. And just pull that right across. So there's a lot of texture and detail in that branch to give it that bark texture. So you're just going to just put just a little stripe on there of that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to maybe put just a little bit of it into those leaves. And that is just going to, when you add in a little bit of red or a little bit of brown, it just really, it brings more life into those leaves. Just giving it a little bit more variation and depth and realism. All right, so I'm going to show you both cards side by side so that you can see the difference. I might actually grab a little bit of this red over here because I feel like before, yeah, just want those centers to be just a little bit darker. Yeah, that's really pretty. So this is the deep red here. Looks brown, dried. And just those little dots. So the embossing blends in a little bit more, but it's just, I think it's just a really different pretty look because it's metallic. And I just love rose gold. It's just really elegant and subtle. And grab, I'm going to put just a little bit more just to fill out this petal so that you can see that edge a little better. Just feel like it, just take a step back from it and just see where you feel like it needs a little something. If you want to have a little bit more definition to those edges there. So that's what I'm doing on this one, since you don't see the outline quite as much as you do with the white one. So here's the white one, as you can see. So it's up to you, but it's fun to try something different and just see what you'll like better. See, my husband just pulled up, but I know he's waiting to come in now because I said if the door is closed, don't come in. Okay, so that's all the watercoloring that I'm going to do. So now what I want to do is I'm just going to add that grading with the MISTI. And this is going to allow me to get it nice and solid and dark there. And you can have the little piece of cardstock hang out the top. So I'm going to use, I used Bloom and Grow on this one. I'm going to do Wish You Were Here. I'm missing all my friends this week. So the other day, I've already got it set up. So I'm going to go ahead and do this with the door closing this way instead of the opposite way. So Wish You Were Here. And I'll just ink this up with the chocolate truffle. And other than the computer noise, it's pretty quiet here. We have kind of a lull in the construction project because my husband's got work this week. I'm going to take that tidy towel and just wipe off some of this brown ink so I don't transfer that to the back. And I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an image on the inside because forgetting at the moment who it was that mentioned in our Gina K Designs Stamp TV Facebook group that they really like. Oh, that looks so good. I love brown with pink. So we're going to put something on the inside of this card just because someone was mentioning that they really like to have the inside decorated as well. So let's go back here real quick and I am just going to put this peach blossom on the back. And so now I've got something coordinating where I can sign my name. And then I'm just going to do this branch here inside. And then just whatever I end up writing above it, and it's just nice and coordinated. There we go. And that's it. And then if you want, of course, you can decorate your envelope for something coordinating. So let me show you these two. So this one I did as a single layer card, but you could do some purple tape to mask that off, or then just cut an extra piece. This would be 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and then just layer it on. So let me show you. I know it's hard to see this embossing here when it's flat, but hopefully when I tilt that, you can see just how pretty that rose gold embossing is. So I really like both. I think they both turned out beautiful, very easy to do, really fun to do the watercoloring with the embossing. Thanks for watching today. I hope you're enjoying your time at home and making some time for crafting in addition to enjoying your family. Stay safe, stay home, and just pray for one another. I'm praying for you, okay? Thanks so much for watching today. God bless.